Since Israel first launched strikes on Gaza after Hamas's surprise attack on October 7th, it has targeted residential buildings. The UN says nearly 200,000 structures have been destroyed or damaged. With so many fleeing attacks, Palestinians packed into makeshift shelters, many of them UN-run schools, but they were not safe. More than 1,000 schools have been bombed. And Israel has destroyed most of Gaza's hospitals, including Al-Shifa, where more than 400 Palestinians were killed in a raid in March 2024.
We make the best weapons in the world, and we've got a lot of them. And we've given a lot to Israel, frankly. And I mean, Bibi would call me so many times, can you get me this weapon, that weapon, that weapon? Some of them I never heard of, Bibi, and I made them. But we'd get them here, wouldn't we? And they are the best. They are the best. But you used them well. It also takes people that know how to use them. And you obviously used them very well. But so many that Israel became strong and powerful, which ultimately led to peace. That's what led to peace. So as we celebrate today, let us remember how this nightmare of depravity and death all began.
In 1948, when the land of Palestine was officially stolen and given to a group of rabid Zionists who murdered over 10,000 Palestinians, this crime against humanity was decided as early as 1917 with the Balfour Declaration, the British Crown, and Lord Rothschild of the Rothschild banking dynasty, otherwise known as the Bank of England, who, when it's all said and done, will have control over hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Palestinian oil and gas reserves. As Michael Rivero famously said, all wars are bankers' wars. According to Benjamin Franklin, the primary catalyst for the American Revolution was the Bank of England's Currency Act. After the Revolution, a value-based economy, with no interest being paid to any central bank, was created. But it didn't last long. The first Bank of the United States was chartered in 1791 and favored foreign stockholders over Americans. The charter ended in January of 1811, followed by the War of 1812, and the establishment of the Second Bank of the United States in 1816, which gave more power to the Bank of England. Andrew Jackson successfully killed the bank's renewal, and shortly after, became the first U.S. president targeted for assassination when Richard Lawrence drew pistols on him outside the U.S. Capitol, but misfired. Laws were passed in the early 1860s for the U.S. government to issue its own currency in a value-based economy as opposed to the debt-based system imposed by central banks. According to an 1864 edition of the London Times, this would have made America the wealthiest nation of the world. The article warned that if a government creates its own money, it will be without debt. It will become prosperous without precedent in the history of the world, and therefore must be destroyed. In 1865, President Lincoln was assassinated, and the economy was quickly phased back to the central bank's debt enslavement model. In 1913, the tyrannical Federal Reserve Bank and federal income tax was born. The two world wars brought Germany under the heel of the central banking cartel. Western banking institutions financed the Bolshevik Revolution. In 2000, Iraq stopped selling its oil in Federal Reserve notes. In 2003, Iraq was illegally invaded by the United States, and dollar-based oil sales were reinstated. In Libya, Muammar Gaddafi's gold dinar currency was making the nation rich. In 2011, the U.S. invaded and reverted Libya's oil sales to dollars. The Bank for International Settlements recently proposed efforts under the guise of anti-money laundering that would provide scores to tokens and digital wallets, including stablecoins. Digital ID, social credit scores, and a carbon tax is what the bankers are up to now. And everything else is a distraction. Today's war is mostly psychological, and it's being waged upon you. Greg Reese reporting.